by owners. How, as a realtor, do we make going after for sale by owners part of our marketing plan? Should we do it? What should we do? And how do we make it as effective as possible? Well, I've done a lot of for sale by owners in my career, so I can tell you from personal experience they work. I can also tell you from personal experience it's not simple, right? For sale by owners want to save money. That's the bottom line. They want to save their commission. So the biggest thing I would say to a for sale by owner is, so do the buyers. Right? Like, who looks at for sale by owners? Again, let's start from a general perspective. If there's 4 types of buyers out there, this is what I would tell for sale by owner, because this is true. Number 1, how about somebody who's really serious and in a hurry? They got a job transfer, they're moving to a new city, they need to find a home for them and their family. Maybe they're pressing up against the school year, there's some sort of a time deadline. So they're serious buyers and they're in a hurry. Do you think they are renting a car and driving around looking at for sale by owner signs? Or do you think they're hiring an agent to show them properties? Pretty obvious. They're hiring an agent, right? Serious buyers who are in a hurry are going to hire an agent to find them a home as quickly as possible, okay? So what's the second type of buyer? How about a more cautious buyer that's also serious? They want somebody to hold their hand. They want somebody to guide them through the process. They want all the options available to be shown to them. Are they looking for sale by owners on their own? Or do you think they're hiring an agent to guide them and be an advisor? They're hiring an agent too. Okay, pretty obvious. How about the third type of buyer? An investor. An investor that wants to buy a home for pennies on the dollar, so they can either flip it and make a profit, or they can rent it out and it'll cash flow comfortably. So they're looking for a deal. They're looking for something they can get at a discount. They might be looking at for sale by owners, right? Because they know for sale by owners are typically motivated by money, and they don't exactly know what they're doing in most cases, statistics show, and you can get it at a discount. Statistics show for sale by owners sell for less. $242,300, okay, is the average price in America. Now, this is obviously market specific, and this was 2020 statistics. $242,300. That was the average sale price of a home in America. $217,900 is the average sale in 2020 of a for sale by owner. So they sell for less money. They sell for considerably less money than a house sold by an agent. So you've got the third type of buyer is an investor. They might be going after for sale by owners. And the fourth type of buyer is a tire kicker. Kind of a time waster, right? Somebody just wanted to look at property. They love to waste people's time and look at real estate. So who do you think the for sale by owner is attracting? Are they attracting serious buyers that are in a hurry? No. Are they attracting serious buyers that want to take their time? Probably not. Agents are going to work with those 2 types of groups. So they are attracting investors and tire kickers. Tire kickers are a waste of time. Investors are wanting to get the property for very little as possible, pennies on the dollar. So if you're for sale by owner, that's who you're attracting. That's the problem. You're missing the best part of the market, the serious buyers. They're not seeing your house. In fact, you look at statistics, 84% of people that are buying homes don't even look at for sale by owners. It doesn't even come across their consciousness. So you're missing the vast majority of the market of a sale by owner. Plus, you're probably selling it for less. You say, well, why are you selling it for less? The reason for sale by owner sells for less is I love to tell the story about the garage sale example. So I bought a watch recently from the Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. You'll probably have a Jared in your area, right? So Jared it's a jewelry store. They sell Tissot and Tag Heuer watches. So I bought a Tag Heuer watch. Okay, I like Tag Heuer. So let's say I go in, let's say I buy a $3,000 Tag Heuer watch. I go into Jared, I buy the watch, I pay full price because that's what you do in a professional setting, in a professional store, right? So I buy the watch, I drive home, and my wife is having a garage sale at our house. So I literally pull in the driveway, I pull the watch out, I say, you know what, I'm going to sell this at the garage sale. In the box, it's brand new. I've never worn it. Haven't even put it on other than the jewelry store to try. It's in the box, it's brand new, it has the tag still, has the receipt. I paid $3,000 for it. So I go to the garage sale and I put out there on a table, am I going to get $3,000 for that watch? What do you think? The answer is obvious, right? No, I'm not going to get $3,000 for that watch. Why not? Because there's a difference in the setting. Okay, the process. There is not a professional sales process associated with a garage sale. There is a professional sales process associated with going to a jewelry store and buying an expensive watch. That's exactly the same mentality people think of when they think of for sale by owners. They're expecting to pay less. They're expecting to get a deal, get it for pennies on the dollar, or get the owner to carry financing for them even. That's a big difference in process, and it's a big difference in expectation. That's something that for sale by owners sometimes don't think of, and they don't understand. It's like, well, why don't people just pay me the same as they would pay a realtor? Because it's not the same kind of a setting. It's a garage sale setting. Plus, you're missing the vast majority of the market. So think about for sale by owners. The biggest thing as an agent standpoint in trying to help them, because I've helped for sale by owners a lot. I've taken the listing for them, and I've also just helped them sell it and worked with them as a buyer on the other side. I've done both. Any one of those is fine. The key to for sale by owner is to truly add value. Help them out. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do as agents that'll help for sale by owners, from offering to do open houses to offering to introduce them to your lender. So if people are going to talk to them about making an offer, can they even make an offer? Are they pre-qualified? And that's one thing a lot of times for sale by owners don't know. It's like, well, I've had a lot of people interested. Well, are any of those people qualified to buy your house? Oh, I don't know. It's like, well, let me introduce you to my lender. So anybody that shows interest, you can send them to my lender. They will then pre-approve them, and the only people you'll end up talking to are ones who can actually buy your house. That's a big advantage. That's a value add. Don't waste your time with people that aren't able to buy your house, which, as I mentioned earlier, is probably a lot of people looking for sale by owners. Remember, the two categories of looking for sale by owners are investors looking to get a deal and time wasters, tire kickers that just want to look at houses. That's a waste of time. And that's what ends up frustrating most for sale by owners, which is why almost 90%, if you look at it, of all for sale by owners list with an agent. And if you look at the actual statistics, several percentage points of those people already knew who they were going to sell it to. That's why they did it for sale by owner. They had a friend or a neighbor or a relative that they were going to sell it to all along, so they didn't use an agent. They sold it directly to that person. If you take those kind of things out, it's about 7% of all for sale by owners actually sell without an agent. 7%. Here's an interesting number though, if you like percentages. 71% of all litigation in real estate comes from for sale by owners, people who were not represented by an agent. 71%. So think about liability, think about disclosure, non-disclosure laws in your state, people getting upset with their purchase. In fact, if you look at the last 2 years since the pandemic, almost 25% of all buyers are not happy and not satisfied with their homes. So that can lead to litigation. But for sale by owners are ripe for that. 71% of litigation comes to for sale by owners. So there's not only the hassle, there's not only the time component and the complexity of the contract, there's not only the cost, you're actually losing money because you're missing the biggest percentage of the market, but they've got a much higher chance of being sued. So there's a lot of reasons they should use an agent. But we as an agent have a hard time telling them that without looking like we just want the listing. Well, certainly we want the listing in some cases, not in every case, but we can also just help them. That's what I would tell you about a for sale by owner is nurture them along, add value, introduce them to your lender, offer to do an open house, give them marketing materials, let them know about market stats, what's going on in the market, how many houses are for sale right now, how many houses are pending, how many closed in the last month, what's the price point? I mean, give them stats to back up where they are and help them out. I really think it's important to help for sale by owners out because eventually two things are going to happen. Either they're going to sell on their own, which is fine. Rarely that happens, but it does. Or they're going to say, you know what, Rick? We've really appreciated you helping us. You haven't pressured us into listing our house. You've actually offered us some things that have helped and been valuable as a resource to us. We're going to list it and we want to list it with you. That's the other thing that can happen. And that's happened to me a lot of times in my career. In fact, my favorite question, once I get into rapport, again, you have to earn the ability to ask these questions. Watch my interview with Jeff Sweet when he talks about earning this. I love that. But my favorite question for sale by owners is, how long are you going to try to sell this on your own before you decide to hire a professional to get it sold? That question is gold. Once you have rapport, once you've toured the house, once you understand their motivation, their timeline, how they came up with the price, what they're actually trying to accomplish, and they know you, they trust you, you've added some value, then I love that question. How long are you going to try to sell this on your own before you decide to hire a professional to get it sold? Every time I've asked that question and I've had rapport built with the person, they've told me. They'll say something like, yeah, Rick, well, we're going to try it until November 1st, and if it doesn't sell, we're gonna interview agents. It's like, okay, they'll give you an actual answer. This is what we want to do, or we're getting frustrated, especially if they're early on in the process. They're probably not frustrated yet. They're excited. They think they can do it. As time goes on, they get more and more discouraged. It's like, hey, if I can keep adding value and help them out, maybe I'll get that listing from them eventually. But to me, a for sale by owner is a relationship. And it's a relationship where I need to prove myself and add value to them. And at the end of the day, if the bottom line is this, if you can pay me a 5% or a 6% commission and keep more money in your pocket, why wouldn't you hire me? Why would you try to do this on your own, expose yourself to all the liability, and waste all your time doing open houses and dealing with buyers who aren't qualified to buy your house? That's the bottom line. So to me, a for sale by owner is great. I used to love doing them. And I will tell you this, most for sale by owners that I ended up speaking with and meeting with did not list with me. I don't want to give you an unrealistic expectation. Oh, Rick did, 10 for sale by owner meetings and 8 of them listed with him. No, that's not the case. Maybe 3 out of 10 ended up listing with me. The others either listed with somebody else or decided not to sell or did end up selling it on their own, right? I mean, that does happen 7% of the time, according to statistics. But if you want to make for sale by owners part of what you do, part of your marketing plan, have some sort of an idea of how you're going to add value to them. What are you going to do for them that's honest and really helpful so that it earns your trust and it earns your ability and right to ask them for the business if they get discouraged down the road. And in this market right now, October of 2022, when houses are not quite selling as fast as they were, you're probably going to get that opportunity, right? If this is 2021 and houses are selling in one day, a lot of people are trying for sale by owners. Hey, let's try this. Why not? Just put our house on the market and somebody's going to gobble it up. Well, in a normal market, which is what we're shifting back towards now, where there's 2-3 months of inventory, we still don't have that much, but we're getting more inventory. Things take a little longer to sell, right? 2 to 3 months of days on market, 60, 80 days on market is very normal. I know if you're new to real estate, like in the last 2 years, that's going to shock your system. But I've been a real estate agent for over 28 years. And I can tell you, I would see agents advertising, like in the newspaper and on websites with big banners, that their average days on market was 54 days. I'm thinking of one specific agent, a very big producer. She used to advertise 54 days was her average days on market because that was good. That's when a normal agent's average days on market was 80 or 90, which for the past 3 decades has been very normal. This 1 day on market or 4 days on market, I think our MLS last year in 2021 was 11, was average days on market, 11 days. That is not realistic. That is not sustainable. And if you're new to real estate, please don't think that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be that way. Like 60, 70, 80 days is very common. And if it takes that long, a lot of for sale by owners start to get discouraged. They start to get frustrated with all the promises that these buyers are making that never come to fruition. A lot of tire kickers and a lot of investors are banging on their door. And realtors. So if a lot of realtors are banging on their door, what can you do to differentiate yourself? Well, I would go out there and meet with them. My favorite script, and I'll put some PDFs on this for you so you can actually have access to the scripts I used to use, but my favorite script was a very simple one. It's like, hey, this is Rick Gray with XYZ Real Estate. I see your house is listed for sale by owner. Yeah, great. Would it be available for me to come preview it tonight at 6 o'clock? Sure, great, I'll see you then. So I announced that I'm a realtor. I'm not lying to them. I'm not misleading them. I am a realtor. I would like to come preview it. Can I come tonight at 6 o'clock? Short, simple, to the point. Then I want to get in front of the for sale by owner and build a relationship. That's when I want to find out their goals, what they like about the house, what they don't, what's their time frame, how do they come up with their price. I don't want to do that on the phone. I don't want to try and build rapport in a relationship over the phone. I just want to get there and meet them and figure out the situation and then say, okay, how can I actually add value to this person? What can I do to help them that they can't do on their own? If you can do that, and you can do that consistently, you have a system in place to do that, you can sell a lot of for sale by owners and really help people. I've had for sale by owners where I've helped them, and then over time, they've bought 4, 5, 6 houses from me over the years. So the relationship works. I've also had for sale by owners that didn't want to use me to sell. They were just adamant about it. I helped them anyway, and then they used me for the purchase. That's fine too. That's business I would not have got. And I've got referrals from those people over the years as well. So really think about adding value. Think long term. Think about building a relationship with that person. And at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. You're not going to get every for sale by owner you talk about or that you meet and talk to. You're going to get a few. That means if you want to make this a regular part of your business, you need to be doing it a lot. That's one problem I think a lot of real estate agents have is they dabble. They dabble in for sale by owners. They do, 2 or 3 a month. They dabble in open houses. They do 1 or 2 a month. They dabble in sending some postcards, and they don't get business from any of it. And I'm sitting here going, of course you're not going to get business from any of it. If I told you I got 2 or 3 for sale by owners out of 10, I was doing 10 a week. So I was getting 2 or 3 listings a week, but I was meeting with 10 people a week at their house, driving around. I was putting a lot of miles on my car. If you're only doing 2 or 3 a month, you're not going to get any of them. I mean, that's really a good lesson to understand about real estate. Whatever you decide to do and put your energy into as far as marketing and trying to create business, do a lot of it and get really good at it. If you just dabble, it is not going to work for you. And you're going to be one of those agents that tells me that for sale by owners don't work, it's a waste of time. Open houses don't work, they're a waste of time, right? You're going to tell me all this stuff, and it's just not true. But if you really want to get something effective in your business, it's like, I think of like ink. So I picture things very visually. I'm a visual person. If real estate is like ink, it's going to be everywhere. If for sale by owners is going to be part of your marketing process, it's like you're getting dipped in a vat of ink for sale by owner. It's behind your ears. It's between your fingers. Like it's all over you. You need to get all in and get really good at communicating, understanding, emotional intelligence, figuring out what their goals are, being consistent to add value to them, and talking to a lot of them. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to talk to a lot of for sale by owners and get a lot of rejection, don't do it, because it's not going to work for you. Anything you want to do in real estate, you've got to get all in. I picture that ink thing. You're just going to get dipped in it. It's just going to consume you. If you haven't got that level of commitment, then don't go after them at all. Pick something else. There's a lot of ways to build real estate. You don't have to do for sale by owners. You don't have to do open houses. You don't have to do anything. You can pick and choose which ways you want to build it. But whatever you do choose, make sure you're all in. That's the fairest thing you can do for the client. It's going to give them the best experience, and it's going to allow you to build the biggest business. But I love for sale by owners. So ask me some questions, put your comments down below. I would love to give you my advice and my answers. I've got a PDF for you. If you do for sale by owners and have some other strategies, I'd love to hear what you do. So let's share and let's make sure our community is valuable to each other as well. Have a great day.